Hi, my name is Nathan Seidenbeber and I'm the CEO of Stakeware. The following is a brief presentation of the Stakeware technology. We start by looking at our issue intelligence dashboard. Here I can monitor projects and issues. And as you can see, for example, in California, I have two issues, water conservation and climate change. I can immediately tell that water conservation has more stakeholders because it has a bigger square than the other. I can also tell that there's more activity because it has a brighter orange than climate change. I can drill down into the issue and look at the number and detail of the interactions that I've had on that particular issue. I can also see the level of support I'm enjoying from my various stakeholders on the issue itself. One of the things that I can also do is contrast this information, which I'm gathering through my own engagement capabilities, with the social world. So I can, with a click of a button, basically change the perspective and look at it from the point of view of social media and all the different stakeholders that are out there tweeting or putting posts on Facebook that are related to the issue of water conservation in California. Now, if I want to drill more into the project and get more information, I can always go to my project, to the project itself, in this case, California. Here I can see the list of all the stakeholders that are in my project, where are they located. Some of them may have international um, locations. And then I can also go into one of my dashboards. In this dashboard, I'm actually combining information from different sources. For example, on the left, I can see not just the money that I'm investing in different grant projects in California, I can also see the level of risk that the project has and some opinions that I'm gathering through an SMS platform. I can also actually monitor some sensors and drill into one of them and actually see a emergency response preparedness scenario where I can basically create different zones of impacts, assuming a potential emergency. So in this case, we're looking at the Bay Area and we're simulating a network of sensors that's located in the Richmond refinery between San Pablo and San Rafael. Now, if I drill into the sensors, I can actually see information from the sensor itself. And I apologize, the sensor name should be um, Richmond Bay instead of Dallas. I apologize for that mistake. In any case, I can monitor the sensor at any given moment in time. And then I can also run a scenario where one of these sensors basically exceeds a threshold. And by doing so, it actually starts communicating with a network of sensors, starting with another sensor that actually measures the wind and the direction of the wind. So, with that information, um, this intelligent network of sensors can actually predict if some form of contamination is going to go south, and it can basically communicate with the other sensors. And in this case, the name Dolores and Vallecito should say San Francisco and Berkeley. But basically, there's communication between these sensors, and the minute that one of those other sensors identifies that the threshold has been exceeded, it can basically trigger an emergency response um, mechanism. And in this mechanism, as you can see, you're already predetermined the list of stakeholders. You can organize them by level of impact, primary, secondary, or tertiary. You can try to understand the kinds of people that you have in your network. How many of them are first responders? How many of them are actually stakeholders who are against this particular project or initiative? And then I can also even drill further and try to understand what's the level of influence of my network. So if I need to pick up the phone and basically mitigate a particular situation, I may want to reach out to the most influential stakeholder that I can, because I know that that stakeholder may help me also communicate with other stakeholders due to his or her level of influence. So in this case, we're looking at a network of influence, and the four most influential stakeholders, of course, in this scenario are the EPA, Governor Jerry Brown, and the California Department of Fish and Game. Now, as you can see, this is a simulation of a network of influence, and the different lines represent the type of influence that's been measured. This could be interpreted as strong political influence, strong financial influence, etc. So coming back to our network of sensors and back to our initial dashboard, we can also see how here we can actually combine quantitative data like the one I just showed you from sensors with qualitative data that it's more linked around specific issues. So here, for example, we're monitoring an issue and we're monitoring three keywords on this issue: fracking, Mendocino, and the EPA. In this case, Mendocino, because it's the only state in California that actually has banned the practice of fracking, which has a direct impact in water conservation, according to some experts. So I can obviously look at the different information, see the velocity of how these different keywords are being mentioned on Twitter, and then I can also see or get a more in-depth understanding of what are the actual hashtags that people are talking about once they start basically engaging with the issue of fracking or the campaign against fracking, in this case in Mendocino. And furthermore, I can actually see more details, more information, as to how many people are being tweeted the most, how many people are being retweeted the most, and run all sorts of calculations to give some further analysis and ultimately calculate who from the stakeholders that you already have identified is most influential in the context of this particular issue, and who are Twitter handlers or Facebook users that you haven't yet identified as stakeholders, but that you should be paying attention because of their activity in social media. Not only that, but here you can also see how we can combine that information with social demographic data to give you a full picture of the situation, not just looking at online, not just looking at demographics, not just looking at the data that's internally generated, but actually being able to look at everything in a sort of holistic view. Now that is one aspect of the Stakeware software. Another aspect is because our mission is to help build trust and to do so by helping organizations be more transparent in the way they communicate their environmental, social, or economic impacts. So for that matter, we also provide the ability to create any kind of report that will have some of those metrics. So for example, here, I'm going to briefly describe how we can basically enable any kind of international framework that has metrics around sustainability, and we can basically drill down and capture any kind of indicator pertaining to those frameworks. So the idea is that we enable companies to capture KPIs, to monitor those KPIs, and eventually report on them in terms of looking at the analytics and how things are moving so that they can manage their performance in terms of some of these environmental, social, and other types of impacts. So here, for example, we're looking at information of waste generated in a number of different facilities. And of course, you can basically take the analytics, filter the information, change the range of values. Basically, instead of looking at it by city, you can look at it by state or by county. So we provide all sorts of capabilities that help a knowledge worker basically make informed decisions by being able to combine quantitative data, like the one I'm showing you here, with more qualitative data, which is what I showed you earlier in the demo. Since this is a very short demonstration of the Stakeware technology, we have a lot more to offer in different modules. So hopefully there will be an interest and I can provide a more in-depth presentation in the near future. Thank you very much for your time.